Big thanks to Audible for sponsoring this video. And you know what? Audiobooks are pretty great for most any occasion. And with Audible, you get a chance to get a free audiobook and choose from 2 titles from a list of Audible originals for free when you try Audible for 30 days. Go to audible.com/Dom Esposito or text Dom Esposito to 500-500 to get started. Lately, I've been checking out Rise of the Robots, where author Martin Ford discusses technology and the threat of jobs being replaced by robots, which, you know what, has already started happening today. It's definitely a great listen. With a free trial at Audible, your books are yours to keep even if you cancel your membership. So get started right now. Go to audible.com/Dom Esposito or text Dom Esposito to 500-500 and browse their unmatched selection and get started with your 30-day trial today. What's going on, everyone? This is Dom, and today we're getting into the battle of the notches. Yep, I'm talking about the Pixel 3 XL versus the iPhone XS Max. So let's talk about design first. Now, with the iPhone XS Max, we have something very similar to what we saw last year with the iPhone X. We have a metal frame sandwiched between glass, and it's actually pretty nice. I mean, I can't complain about the design here very much because it feels very premium, as it should, being at the price point that it is, and at the end of the day, I mean, it's a well-built phone. Over on the Pixel 3 XL side of things, we actually see an upgrade in terms of the design and the quality from last year's Pixel 2 XL. So this year we have all metal and glass, very similar to how the iPhone is structured, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. On the back, we do have this soft touch glass, which people seem to think scratches very easily. I haven't personally experienced that, but there are tons of articles and videos about this thing if you want to go check that out for yourself. But like I said, glass and metal, very, very similar thing here. They both feel premium. I'm actually a big fan of how the Pixel 3 XL feels this year compared to its predecessor. And overall, I don't think you can go wrong with either option in terms of design and quality. So around the front side of the iPhone XS Max, we have a beautiful 6.5-inch display. It's an OLED panel with a resolution of 1242 by 2688, and it looks very nice. I mean, there's really nothing to complain about here. On the inside of the phone, we do have 4 gigabytes of RAM and the Apple A12 Bionic chip. And well, overall, I mean, this thing has performed like a boss. I mean, there hasn't really been any issues in that department at all. So on the Pixel 3 XL, this is also an OLED panel, but it measures out at 6.3 inches, and we have a resolution of 1440 by 2690. Similar to the iPhone XS Max, we also have 4 gigabytes of RAM here, but we're rocking the Snapdragon 845 processor. So there are a couple of things to point out if you go with either of these phones. With the iPhone XS Max, you are not getting a fingerprint sensor because, well, Apple's done away with Touch ID on their mainstream smartphones, but you do get one on the backside of the Pixel 3 XL. Though if you're looking for security unlock features, we do have Face Unlock present on the iPhone XS Max, whereas it's missing on the Pixel 3 XL. So you kind of have to choose which method you want if you're deciding on going with either of these phones. Both of these devices feature stereo speakers, with the Pixel 3 XL actually having directly front-facing speakers, which is nice, but overall comparing the two, I mean, you're really not going to notice a huge difference in sound. And if you're looking for a 3.5mm headphone jack, well, you're not going to find that on either of these devices, unfortunately. So that is kind of out the window. Really, if you're stuck on the fence deciding between these two, I think the main 3 points to consider are going to be the operating system, battery life, and camera performance. And to be honest, Android Pie is very refined, and that's what you get on the Google Pixel 3 XL or the Pixel 3. And I actually like it a lot. It's very clean. It seems very snappy. Obviously, only long-term use will tell if it's going to slow down or anything like that, but the same can be said about iOS 12. But the real important thing here to talk about is going to be camera performance, and this is where things get tricky. So on the backside of the Pixel 3 XL, we have a single 12 megapixel camera, a very bold move in a world of dual rear-facing cameras these days, but don't let that deter you from this phone because the photo quality here is excellent. So on the back of the iPhone XS Max, we have dual 12 megapixel sensors. So you have your standard camera lens, and then we have a telephoto lens for some more zoomed style shots. Now, honestly, I don't think that the telephoto lens is very useful, at least in my opinion. I'm sure other people out there do have uses for it, but I just don't tend to use it a whole lot. So when it comes to camera performance between these two flagships, it's going to be kind of a toss-up and based on your personal opinion about the rest of the phone here. I mean, they're both great cameras. The Pixel 3 XL is best in class as far as Android is concerned, at least in my opinion, while the iPhone XS Max, well, that holds the top spot as well. But which one is better, and how really do we decide on that? Well, it's going to depend on your conditions of the photo that you're taking, where you're taking it at, things like that. But overall, I think that they both perform pretty good. They both pack portrait mode and 4K video recording, a lot of things that you expect to see on flagship smartphones like this. And at the end of the day, you know, I think in my opinion, the Pixel 3 XL takes the lead by a little bit, but they're both A+ performers, and you really can't go wrong either way. Just in case you're a selfie master, you're probably going to want to lean towards the Google Pixel 3 XL. And I only say that because on the front we have dual 8 megapixel sensors. Now, one of them is your standard, you know, selfie photography lens, but we do have a wide angle lens on the second front facing camera, which works excellent to get some pretty cool wide angle selfies or group shots. On the flip side of the iPhone XS Max, we do have a 7 megapixel front-facing camera, which works great as well, and you can get portrait mode out of both of these selfie cameras also. So in case that's something that matters to you, you'll find it here on both of them. Now, when it comes to battery performance, well, the Google Pixel 3 XL actually packs a 3430 milliamp hour battery inside, which is slightly higher than the 3174 milliamp hour battery found in the iPhone XS Max. But in my experience testing them both out, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get longer battery life on one versus the other. In fact, they both seem to last the entire day for me, with about, 10 to 20% remaining at the end of the day with my heavy usage. And obviously it's going to depend on how you use your smartphone versus how long the battery actually lasts. The good news is, in terms of battery life, is they both feature fast charging abilities, though with the Pixel 3 XL, you're actually getting that fast charger in the box. And they also do both have wireless charging, which is definitely a win if you have a cheap charger laying around. Price point is also going to influence your decision, and that also combines with the storage capacities here. So with the Pixel 3 XL, you're going to be able to pick up a 64 gigabyte base model for $899. Now keep in mind there's no micro SD card slot here, so you want to choose accordingly. If you want to bump up to the higher capacity 128 gigabyte model, well, that's going to cost you $100 more. So with the base model iPhone XS Max, for 64 gigabytes of storage, that's going to start out at a whopping $1,099, which is substantially more than the base model of the Pixel 3 XL. Of course, you can bump that up to a 256 gigabyte model for $1,249, or a 512 gigabyte model for, wait for it, $1,449. And keep in mind that neither of these phones have micro SD card expansion, so you're going to want to plan accordingly depending on which one you go for. So at the end of it all, obviously both of these are great phones. They're both best in class as far as performance goes, and you really can't go wrong with either one. Like I said, it's going to depend on which operating system you're invested into. Are you an Android person, an iOS person? Do you want to make the switch? Are you ready to make that switch? And which one do you think performs better in terms of camera quality? I mean, I've linked full galleries for both of these below, and obviously you saw the examples earlier, but I want to know your thoughts on this battle in the comments section below, and be sure to check out the links in the description if you want to find out more information for yourself. Be sure to subscribe as well if you want to catch more videos like this in the near future, and leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This is Dom, and I'll catch you in the next video.